Are you over 50? Are you thinking about getting bariatric surgery? Well, join me on my journey to having bariatric surgery. That adventure starts now. If this is your first time to the channel, please do me a favor, please subscribe, as I will be doing update videos every week, and not just about my journey, but bringing up different topics like goals, mindset, things that you have to prep for, mental health, the whole thing on the journey to getting bariatric surgery. My name is Marina Franco. I am 51 years old, and yes, I am going to get bariatric surgery. In fact, I'm going to get the sleeve, as they call it, surgery. I made that decision a few months back, and let me tell you a little bit about my backstory. As an adult, I was heavy most of my adult life. I was 18, barely 18 when I had my daughter, and that's kind of when my weight gain started. I would go up, I'd go down, I'd go up, I'd go down, I'd join Weight Watchers, quit, join again, quit, do Nutrisystems, quit, try this fad diet. You know, you only do it for so long. I'd lose some weight, then gain it back. But really probably in the year 2000, is when things started really getting more, I'd gain more and more weight. I did buy my first house as a single mom, and which I was very proud of myself, but I think I was really depressed the majority of the time I was there. Single mom, didn't have very many friends. In fact, the two really close friends I had, you know, they were married and doing their own thing. And so, you know, would I talk to them? Yes. Would we go out and do things every now and then, but not really someone to, you know, really talk to. So I ate poorly. I would go to McDonald's 3 times a day, probably 4 or 5 times a week. And if it wasn't McDonald's, it was Taco Bueno or, you know, Chick-fil-A, or I'm just trying to think of some of my favorites that I would go to. I would drink sodas all day long, coffee in the morning, but sodas all day long. Doritos, a bag of Doritos a night, and like a half a bag of Oreo cookies. I would take my daughter out to eat, and a lot of times it was fast food, you know. And you know, I was home alone. I was alone. I was alone, sitting watching TV, watching shows, thinking I wish that was my life, but I didn't go out and make my own life. I will say I'm an introvert. I am an introvert, and staying home does not scare me. Going out scares me more. Not so much now, but big crowds, I do get intimidated by big crowds still, but I think I'm a little more adventurous than maybe back in those days. So in 2005, my father passed away of lung cancer. And he was my biggest advocate, my biggest supporter. Him and my mom helped me tremendously with my daughter, whether I needed them to pick her up from school or daycare. They helped pay for things for her because I was a single mom, and you know, even though I had a good job, I still had limits to what I could do. And you know, I put on a good front. I did not break down. Did I cry? Of course I did, but I didn't break down. In fact, I think I was numb to the whole thing, because who was going to be my advocate in my life? He was gone. I was still single. In fact, just to let y'all know, my daughter was about 4 years old. I stopped dating because the guys I was dating were losers. Yes. And that wasn't good for me, and it wasn't good for my daughter. So I made the decision to go ahead and raise her and just focus on raising her and, you know, living. But in 2005, I was like, you know, and that was my highest weight. I don't even know what that weight was, honestly. I think it was somewhere around 230, 240. And to let you know, I'm 5'1". I might have claimed to be 5'2" at that time, but being a shorter girl, weight does tend to sit on us more, right? You shorter girls know. Shorter girls and guys, you all understand. Makes you look bigger than you are. In fact, here's a picture of me at my highest. I was going to get gastric bypass then. My friend had had it about a year before and lost 100 pounds. She was starting to look really good. And I thought, you know what? I'm close to needing to lose 100 pounds. If not, already need to lose 100 pounds. So let me look into it. Talk to my insurance, or I had somebody talk to my insurance, found out that I would have to do a doctor prescribed diet, not prescribed diet, but like a doctor assisted diet. So I went to my doctor, told her what I wanted to do. She was really cool and kind of on board, like, okay, I'll tell them you're trying to lose weight, not doing it. Did that for a few months and then just realized, this is going to take a while, and I don't know if I have the money to do that, because even if they paid, they weren't going to pay for the whole thing. So something compelled me to walk into a gym one day. Now, let me say something. Let me back up just a little bit. I had started dating that year, or going online to different, Match.com and all those things. And let me tell you, guys, you can be super cruel. Yes, you can. Whether saying something about my weight, whether just wanting to hook up and that's it. I obviously wanted something more than that. And I think what really pushed me over the edge is I did meet up with somebody online. We had dinner. I thought it went well, but he didn't really talk to me. He talked to me on and off. I invited him to a Christmas party at my work. And basically, he just wanted to come because it was open bar, free food, free booze. I had to pick him up at his parents' house. It should have been the first red flag. But you know what? When you don't have a wide pool to choose from, you kind of choose what you choose, right or wrong. And I know some of you been there. And it does. It puts a blow on your self-esteem. For sure. I've had guys that all they wanted to do was feed me. I didn't even know about those type of people, right? Until I went online to start dating. I did not know there was something called feeders that just wanted to feed me food and make me bigger and were just happy for me to be big. I did not connect with those guys at all. But needless to say, I dropped this guy off, never heard from him again, and I just thought to myself, this is ridiculous. I deserve better. Yes, I do deserve better. But the only way I'm going to get better, and I know some of you are going to come for me, but back then we didn't have the body positivity back in those days, but you can choose better when you have a bigger pool to choose from. So I went into a gym, took the tour. They said, hey, you get a free session with a trainer. I met my trainer, Jerry, and I decided I'm gonna get training. And let me tell you what happened. I remember he put me on the treadmill for the first time, and I could barely walk for 5 minutes without like dying. So he said, this is what I want you to do for a week. This, and this. Trust me, nothing was too strenuous looking back. So I did that, came back, weighed, didn't lose a damn thing. In fact, I think I gained weight. And the reason is working out is not going to help you if you don't eat right. So I joined Weight Watchers, and combined, I lost 70 pounds. Here's what I look like. So my dating pool did get better. In fact, I met my now husband, and, obviously we connected, and, he's gained weight over the years. I've gained weight over the years. The thing about him is, he loves me no matter what. If I'm this weight, if I'm thinner, he loves me. I am his girl. He says, you're my girl. And he's my man, even if he's heavy. Now, I will say he loves me enough to say, gently, sweetie, you've gained some weight. And I look at him and said, so have you. So we know. But slowly, after I met him, I started gaining the weight back, going from like 150 to 160, 170. When we got married, I think I was around 175, 180. I dropped some weight because we went back to a trainer, him and I, go back to Weight Watchers, because he and I would both go to Weight Watchers because we both gained weight. Why? Because we love to go out to eat. We love appetizers, whether it's chips and queso or fried pickles or spinach dip. You know, that we love pizza, we love cheeseburgers, hamburgers, Chinese food. We love food. And, you know, but I will say this, when I did drop the weight the first time, I stopped going to McDonald's. I stopped drinking sodas. In fact, even to this day, I could probably count on one hand the number of times I had gone to McDonald's for just like a baby cheeseburger and French fries. And sodas, yeah, same thing. I could probably count on one hand the number of times I drank a soda. Now, do we eat pizza? Yes. Do we eat cheeseburgers? Yes. And fries and stuff like that. And that's kind of our downfall. Do I eat the bag of Doritos? Only if I bring them in the house. Yes, that still happens. Do I eat the Oreos? Only if I bring them in the house. And I haven't brought them in the house for a really long time. So this weight gain really is partly, I think some of it is eating, obviously, but I also think I'm getting older. Hormones are changing. I'm premenopausal. My premenopausal ladies, tell me how that's going down in the comments, okay? And I think a lot of that, you know, as we get older, it's harder to lose weight. I joined Weight Watchers a million times between that time and now. Same thing with my husband. But what has made me want to do this now? A few months back, my husband was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. And yes, that scared me. I had a friend that lost her battle to diabetes, and I think a lot of people don't take it seriously, and they need to. So his doctor says you got to lose weight, you got to eat no more sweets, no more bread, you know, cut the carbs, because he loves bread. He has bread with almost every single meal. And I went online. In fact, I went on TikTok and found this guy who did meal planning that was healthy and on a budget. So I would make breakfast for the week. I'd make lunches for the week. Dinners, we kind of decide like, okay, we're going to go to eat salad or we're going to get grilled chicken somewhere. We'd still go out. But we made better choices. And we went back and got a trainer. So we'd meet with the trainer twice a week, and we would do an additional 30 minutes twice a week also. So 4 times. And he lost 15 pounds in about 2 months. 15 pounds. I lost the same 5 pounds over and over and over again. I'd gain a little, lose a little, gain some more, lose. I fluctuate between 206 to 210, mostly sticking around the 208, 209, 210 area. And to be honest, I was fed up. I do have another YouTube channel, but this is not what this is about. It's part of the story. Where I am a realtor and I go around showing neighborhoods, and that means walking in the neighborhood. And I noticed that after walking past a couple of houses, I was getting out of breath. In fact, I would stop what I'm doing, stop recording, take a deep breath, and then another one, and then start up again. And I can tell on my videos that I am a little bit out of breath. And there have been a couple of times my husband was like, "Why are you out of breath?" So between not losing the weight with the trainer, even though I was eating better and we weren't going out to eat hamburgers and pizza and all that for about 4 months, I still couldn't lose a lot of the weight. So I looked into gastric bypass, because that's all I knew back then, and then found out, oh no, there's this thing called the sleeve, and this is what it does, and this is how it is. And I'm like, okay. So I found a doctor in close to me, went and met with his staff and him, got some more information. They were looking into my insurance, and because my BMI is 39.8 or 39.7, I cannot get qualified unless I have comorbidities. Excuse me. So, I already had an appointment with my doctor prior to that, and he did blood work and all that. I went because I was like, I don't feel good. After I eat sometimes, I feel very, very tired. Like I could be driving and all of a sudden I get hit that I'm so tired, yawning all the time, that I'm like, I gotta go lay down. And you know, you don't want to be that tired driving. That's dangerous. I don't sleep well. I wake up 2 or 3 times during the night. Now that could be the premenopause, but I've never really slept well, honestly. So went to a sleep apnea doctor, got blood work. It comes back that I have pre-diabetes, but not diabetic. And the reason why I'm smiling on that is not because that's a good thing, but my insurance wants full-blown diabetes. Pre-diabetic is not really considered, you know, a morbidity. I'm not saying that right, I'm sure. My cholesterol's a little high, but not super crazy. My blood pressure is perfect, even though I do eat a lot of salt. And the only other thing would be sleep apnea. So I went and got a sleep apnea test, and I have mild sleep apnea. So the doctor's like, yeah, you don't have to get a machine if you don't want to. And I'm sitting here now going, what the heck? I am overweight, but yet I don't qualify. In fact, I could probably gain a couple more pounds to get to the 40 BMI, and that would be easier, wouldn't it? So I'm still pushing forward. I'm still trying to figure out. Now, I could get a CPAP machine, but I don't know about you guys. My insurance I haven't met my deductible, so my insurance is not going to pay for a whole lot of it. And it was like, you know, $1,200. And I'm like, why am I buying a $1,200 machine when in a few months I won't need it? So I'm trying to figure out what to do now. Do I pay out of pocket? Do I go to Mexico? Do I gain a couple more pounds? What is it that I need to do? But needless to say, I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to get this surgery. Why? Because I don't want to be 60 years old and 250 pounds. I don't want to be 60 years old and have to use a walker because my knees are killing me. I can feel it. My knees are hurting when I'm walking up the stairs, when I'm walking for a long period of time. I already have a hard time just moving around sometimes. I'm out of breath. I'm tired. I'm tired of being tired. And I know that this is a tool. I know that this is not a miracle, but this definitely is a kickstart to a better life, healthier life. And that's why I'm doing this YouTube channel. That's why I'm getting the surgery. It is scary for me. I'm sure it's scary for a lot of you guys out there, but what I see in my mind for the future is way better than if I wasn't doing it. So tell me what your why down in the comments. Tell me why you want to get surgery. Tell me what you're afraid of about the surgery. I would love to hear from you. And in the coming weeks, we're going to talk more mindset, goal settings, fear, all of that. And I look forward to speaking with you guys, even if it's through the comments, and let me know, what you guys want to talk about. That's what I'm here for. All right. Until the next time, I'll see you around.